So if you come on over this way.
Lead us, Biggie.
So here's some echinacea, which is an antioxidant, and it helps with your immune system. Here's some bell peppers. These are the long beans. These are the beginnings of the long beans. This is actually turmeric. So when turmeric dries up in probably January, February, we chop it down and then we harvest some of the turmeric. And turmeric is, as you know, very expensive. So if you guys need some turmeric, call me so you don't spend money on it. So here are peppers. These are Asian, not peppers, sorry. They're Asian eggplants. They're a little longer than the Italian eggplants. This is an Italian eggplant tree. These are the long beans. Is that not crazy? You could like feed a person on 2 or 3 of these beans just by chopping them up. So long beans are great. If you guys are gardeners and you want some seeds, I've got a whole bunch for you. They're wonderful. So this is green onions. When you buy your green onion, make sure you buy them organic. You can put the roots in the ground, use up to the green part or just the white part, and then plant them in the ground, and you can build your own green onions. And then you always have onions in case you forget to go to the store and you're cooking. You can always do that. Then we have, if you come down here, this is basil. This type of basil is actually Thai basil. It's wonderful to cook with fish, eggplant, vegetables, peppers. If you guys want to taste it, you're welcome to taste it. Pass it around. So
Basil.
you want some basil? You guys want some basil? No? Okay. It's just different. I mean, so they're a nice flavor. Over here in clay pot, I have some oregano and Italian basil. You're welcome to come over and try the Italian basil. It's a little bit different than Thai basil. It has a lighter flavor. This is rosemary. Over there we have some thyme, and here's chai, or not chai. It's what is it called? The pepper, the onions. So here, this is the Italian basil. If you want to taste the difference, Biggie, nope. Sorry, guys. My daughter is away, so I'm babysitting. That's my granddog. So so you can see the difference between Italian basil and Thai basil. Did you want to try the Thai basil? Yeah. Okay. So around the other side, we'll take a strip. Did you want to? And then we have some mint over here. This is mint. Mint doesn't like the heat, so it usually dies back in the summertime, but it will come back up in the winter. This is sage. I was telling them earlier, if you cook sage with a little bit of olive oil, it actually has a flavor of bacon. So it's nice to saute it and then put your fish in it. So saute that with some onions and some garlic and put your fish in it. So it's great. And then here's some thyme. So we're gonna walk around this way. Did you anything you want to say on this? This is just in bed.
Yeah, these are veggie beds. So if vegetables, most vegetables have kind of been outcompeted by like nature and whatnot. So they need a lot more tender care. Again, these are not like the set it and forget it. So this is a bed that Andrea tends to often. And at the end of the year, because in Florida we have 2 years, like where everybody else starts in spring, those are typically the crops that we start in the fall. Like in October, we'll start doing vegetables and stuff like that. So these are all heat tolerant stuff, the gingers, the turmerics. But when she harvests those, that's the time where we will bring in outside compost and we'll do the compost tea, because they don't have the benefit of like being in the ground and having those nutrients being recycled. So vegetables do need more tender care. You have to be more active in building the soil and whatnot. So that's what I would say to that. They just need more effort. But Andrea is very interested in the new season that's coming in October, September, October. So a lot of this will be pulled out, and then we'll go with those fall crops. So we'll come in, bring in new soil, pull out whatever she doesn't want to grow throughout the winter, and we'll bring in those, your carrots, your onions, your beets, your potatoes, anything that she wants to grow for that time of
And
year.
when he says pull out, he doesn't mean disrupt the psyllium. We'll cut it and chop it and lay the remnants in here, unless it's like a hard woody thing. Then we would take it and put it in in the forest. So we're going to quickly walk back through here, and I'm going to show you an interesting compost. In my kitchen, there's an inside compost bin. that I don't put protein in, I put vegetables in. And then I'm going to show you an outdied compost area. So this is a Myers lemons here, chives. This is ashwagandha. I don't know if any of you have heard about ashwagandha. It helps with mood and stabilizing depression and mood. So ashwagandha is great. More Thai basil. We have some, this is the crown of thorns right here. It's a beautiful plant. This is, pineapple. This was celery. We had some celery this year. We had several stalks. This is actually longevity spinach. So if any of you guys want to taste this, you're welcome to. So you can see we can just come to the backyard and we can make spinach. We can take spinach, and this doesn't have, you can just pass it around. This doesn't have a lot of oxalate in it. So, people always talk about spinach as having high oxalate, and this doesn't have high oxalate. So that's good. This is a kumquat tree. This is another lemon tree. That one's a cherry tree right back here. This little one coming up. This is passion fruit. So we had passion fruit growing this year. We actually had a great a dragon fruit. Have you guys ever had dragon fruit? They don't taste like too much in the grocery store unless you get the yellow ones. This was a red one. It was beautiful. It tasted so sweet. This is a yellow one. I find that these, they do better in pots if you ever interested in growing dragon fruit. There's another lemon tree. This is another type of spinach. Do you remember what this one was?
I don't. Riley would know.
I can't remember on the top. We have so many plants. This is a mulberry tree. You can see the little mulberries starting to grow up here. On there, the little pink mulberries. This is, do you guys know neem oil? Have you ever heard of neem oil? It's a natural oil that you can use to spray on your plants. It's also very healthy antioxidant. This plant right here, back here in the pot, is neem. So, NEEM, yep. And you can get neem oil if you do have pests in your garden that you want to get rid of. You can use neem oil. It's natural.
So funny thing about neem oil, it is something that you could use. Neem oil being extracted from that plant is a pesticide. It is, but it's coming from a plant. So you can see the difference in being artificially, synthetically created in a lab versus I go in and I actually harvest it off of my own land, right? So is it the work to do it? Yes, but I just wanted to highlight that there is natural solutions to a lot of what we try to synthetically create.
But if you notice, there's not a whole lot of bugs, right? I mean, you had asked the question, Teresa, before, how do you keep the bugs off? If you know there's not a whole lot of destruction from bugs, this is guava. And I just learned yesterday from Cam, because I usually do this thing. Maybe it's just an ignorant thing. I shake the tree, and when the fruit drops, I figure it's ready. Cam said, no, Andrea, because that's what happened. We had see that big tree over there? That's a mango tree. We must have had 25 mangoes on it this year. Cam, there's a mango in it. I still see one that the squirrel didn't get. Do you see it dangling?
Oh, there he is. He's got a blush on him too.
Oh, you're going to have to help me knock it down.
We're gonna have to go get that guy. We need a ladder.
Yeah. So we had about 25 or more of them on there. We went away to see our family for a wedding in Europe. We came back, they were gone. I think we had the cleaning lady who took care of our house when we're gone. She saved one for her, one for us, and one for another lady that helps us out. So it was hysterical. But he explained when you have guava that you want to wait for the guava to turn light in color, almost like a yellow. Then you can harvest it. And it can finish ripening inside so that, the squirrels don't eat everything. But God did say that the squirrels and the animals should be fed first. If you read that in the Bible, it's the first year when you plant a garden. So there's time for everybody and there's food for everybody. We have enough. We definitely have enough. So if you notice there's ground cover on here, that ground cover.
It's like Biggie got to
actually, yeah, Biggie likes to jump on some things. He's teaching them a lot of endurance, these plants.
Yeah.
But the ground cover helps grow past the weeds so that you don't have as many weeds. Cam, hey, Biggie, get down. Hey, sorry, Teresa. Get down.
I watch that guy.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you want to explain some more of the plants?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'll be transparent. This area is not growing actually the greatest. We've kind of talked about that. So there's some things we're going to do to, if you've ever heard the term soil remediation, there's some things we're going to do to help build this. Over there, we're thriving a lot more on that side. But um, what I always, as I've said to you guys before, like our goal is to take what would happen over like 100 years and to do it in like 15 years. And by like, it means like it depends on,
We're gonna leave him
what
inside.
target species we have, what we're growing and whatnot. So what she has here is the guava, the avocado. She has more guavas. She has another type of fruit tree down there. There's Barbados cherries. There's lychees. If anybody knows what lychees are, common in Hawaii and
Lychee,
whatnot.
yeah.
So those, and the citrus right here. So those are like what are climax or our target species. Those are the trees that we're trying to get to, and we're managing the system to mature it so that those trees flourish and do very well, right? A lot of this other stuff is short-term edibles. So we have chaya. This is a type of spinach that you actually cook. You have to cook this for about 15 minutes. This is an herb. That's an edible green. This is an edible green. This is an edible flower. That's an edible green. That's an herb. So there's all herbs and edible greens that you can eat sooner in the cycle. That's what I mean about being able to eat within the first like 90 days, really within the first couple months. When you have things like the sweet potatoes, she's got sweet potatoes back
Those are the
there, and
best.
cassava or yucca, if you guys are familiar with those. Those are foods that you can eat within like the first year or two. Same thing with the bananas. We don't have any papayas in here, but papayas, those are things that you can eat earlier, right? So we have things that we eat early. We have things that we're trying to eat later to help them mature. Everything in between is a service or a functional plant that serves a purpose in the ecosystem. This is called, we have examples of, this is a Mexican sunflower. We use the chaya this way. Other flowers, this is a native vetiver grass. And there's other flowers on the front side. That's a Napier grass. You don't have to memorize all these names. The point in saying it is all these plants are designed to service this. So if you looked around the avocado tree, this is not the greatest example. I want to go over there and show them a lot more.
Yeah.
We chop these plants out and we lay down the biomass at the foot of these trees because those are doing what I was explaining to you guys inside. That material is breaking down and other bugs start to eat it, and that's going to stimulate growth in this plant. So again, this area is just not thriving. Andrea, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Over here, I'll show you a
The
better
soil is
example of it.
too dry, but it takes time to transfer the soil.
It does.
It just doesn't happen overnight. Before we go over there, Cam, I want
Yeah.
to take you guys over to the banana ring. It's part of our composting. So you can see this fig tree too, we didn't talk about, but that's great. But let's go look at the compost pile. So I knocked all the put my hands up to get the bugs for you, the ants. They wouldn't get you. So this is our compost pile. This is a nitrogen fixing plant too that will chop and drop and add more of the carbon to the soil. But Cam, you can explain why don't you guys come on over here this quick over here and then we'll walk back over.
Yeah. How about I just show you guys in action? That's why I grabbed these. Anybody know what some pruners are? This is literally how we would help to stimulate this system. I come in here.
So do any of you compost or know about composting? So you do brown, green, brown, green, brown, green. So this is going to be the brown that I threw green stuff from, my inside compost on side there. And these plants he cut back will come back again.
These will continue to come back. The first year I did this, it took 9 months for them to get about 6 feet, and then it took about 6 weeks for them to return to 6 feet. So this is just a very young system. All we did was just take all the plants that are growing in the system and just recycle the nutrients. This one is a little bit more passive because it's bananas. These are very easy to grow. These are like no maintenance. But she's getting food from taking her scraps out of her house, putting it in here. It's stimulating biology and it's growing. Instead of sticking it in the trash can, creates an off gas. It goes to the landfill. That off gas goes into the environment. We've all kind of heard this stuff, right? So this is an action how you actively stop doing that and do something that actually is productive, right?
And it's interesting because sometimes we'll get squash and zucchini growing out of here.
They just show up. I've got the same thing. We got pumpkins.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll finish the backyard real quick. We'll try to hurry up.
Yeah. Cool. You guys want some shade or are you good? All right, cool. I'll take this part. So what I really want to talk to, and as Andrea's continued to learn over the couple of years, like this to me is something that helped me understand totally what we're doing here in this environment, why this makes the most sense, why it's so logical. So we have sun energy and we have rain that's coming down. Would you guys agree that those are natural resources? They just happen, right? Like we don't do anything for the rain and for the sun to show up, right? So if we can either capture or interact with those natural resources in a way that is functional and productive, does that sound like something that could be beneficial to us? Okay, so if that production and that function produced loquats, peaches, plums, and figs, would that be beneficial to us? Right? If it grew grasses and these other leafy greens and these other native plants, and we use those to then feed our fruit trees, would that be beneficial to us? That's the design. That's what's here. So we have certain plants that we're coming in and pruning, and we're just feeding them to the plants that we want to eat because then it's feeding us. But we're feeding the ecology, we're feeding the bugs, the worms, the grubs, the grubs, the birds, the bees. We're feeding all of these animals and micro animals within the system. And then at the very end of that, the result is that we get to eat from it. So that's been the simplest way that I've really understood what we're actually doing here. So instead of coming in here and spraying the grass with chemicals that we end up taking into our house, our dogs walk and then they jump on the couch and we're inhaling it and then it's destroying our gut, not to be so pessimistic about it. But the opposite of that is doing this, right? So you've created life, you stimulated life, and ultimately we get to eat from it. I mean, there's even stuff in here there's the
Medicinal
list goes on
plants.
and on.
I mean,
Medicinal
there's
plants,
so many
absolutely.
things.
So that's been the part that's really helped me understand all of this and make it really easy to understand what we're actually doing here. Is it work? It's a lot of work, right? But if you start and over time these trees become they start to take care of themselves. Over time, it takes some years to get there. But to me, that's what Andrea has decided to invest into her property, and that's what we're doing on large scale and small
But
scale
it's
as well
not
in
just
people's
for my
backyards.
property, it's for you guys too.
Yeah,
It's helping you see. I mean, Cam says it's a lot of work. It's not. He's come, what, 3, 4 times, and they
true.
spend a couple days or a day. And I spend periodically, I pull some weeds, as long as you're okay with the weeds, knowing that over time those weeds will be extinguished out by the ground cover. And understanding there's different heights of plants to maximize the performance of the other plants that you want. And that's that dynamics of a food forest. So it's really wonderful. And I am so glad that you all came to see the power of this and see the power of how you can heal and how you can support healing. But we're going to take you to one
Come on
last
down.
place. These spinaches on the ground are Okinawa and this is cranberry hibiscus. Please take a
Yeah,
bite.
try one of these. So
Yeah, just take some. It's wonderful. You can take some of this longevity spinach.
the newest growth, if you look towards the very tip, the newest growth is always the sweetest or the most tender. So again, do a little check on it. But like if you want to try those are always the sweetest. Same thing with the cranberry hibiscus. These baby leaves right here at the top are definitely going to be the best flavor. They're also the youngest, right?
These are at the end. It's lemongrass. It's nice to make lemongrass tea.
Yep.
And Alan from Flagler Voice, he takes the leaves from his guava and he makes a tea out of the guava leaves. So there's so many things that you can do, even with a few plants in your yard. You don't have to get to this extent, but lemongrass leaves plus lemongrass roots are used for fish. You can use the leaves for tea. This is my baby. We didn't think, Cam and the team didn't think we would get her back. So I've given her many hugs, and I don't know if you understand that lymphatic flow of plants. They've done studies in Europe when I was in Italy, and they found that when humans touch, whoa, you aren't supposed to be here, Cam. Can you put them over the fence? You got to go on the other side of the fence. That's your home.
They usually don't. Oh, hold on, buddy.
So she came back, and she wasn't supposed to come back, and she makes this beautiful roselle hibiscus flower that I've made wonderful jam from that's so yummy. But these leaves, if you want to take a taste, she won't mind. You want to take a little leaf or a bigger leaf. As you chew it, you see the acidity and the vitamin C in it. So it's wonderful to add to your salad. Just like the cranberry hibiscus, you can add it to your salad and it looks pretty, but it tastes great. So, and there's a lot of flowers that come up in the spring and the fall that we add to our salad as well. That is wonderful and healthy and provides antioxidants. And sometimes I'll give you guys a lecture on antioxidation and disease reversal. So if you want to take a taste of those before you leave, go ahead. And with that, that's the same. We have a couple cranberry hibiscus.
What are these?
Mulberry. Yeah, little mulberries coming in.
Wait till you taste this one. If you thought that was an explosion, this roselle hibiscus is amazing. We have a couple of them. Those other ones we planted from seeds, but this one planted, she came back on her own. So, which is one of those blessings that I was so grateful
That is my favorite green, by the way.
Yeah.
I recommend you guys try the roselle that she's
This one,
talking about.
roselle.
Yeah, the younger leaves are definitely the
And
best.
eat the stalk, because the stalk has
Got like
a lot of vitamin C in it.
Yep. Very citrusy,
welcome.
lemony. But I'll come out here. Andrew does it way more often than me, but you come out here, you grab your cranberry hibiscus, the roselle, you grab the longevity spinach, and you throw all of those into a little salad. Just give them a rinse.
Does anyone else
good.
want to try one?
Yeah, very nutritious. It's very
If you eat
fresh.
the stem,
clean.
you really feel the citrusy flavor. It's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, let me
You guys want to
talk.
try? It's super fun.
I'll address that to everybody.
That no lemongrass you wouldn't eat because it kind of has sharpness to it, that would hurt your tongue.
Lemongrass you'll want to boil as a tea.
Yeah,
it's super good. I actually do it
cut
on
the root and cook it with fish or chicken.
Yeah, there you go.
This is roselle hibiscus. Do you want to try one?
On days that I fast, I do a lemongrass tea from home. It's
good.
really good.
Yeah.
So what was your name? Nanette.
Nanette.
So Nanette asked me about the swale, so I'd love to explain that a little bit further. So
Biggie, come here, Biggs.
What's up, boy? So going back to the comment about the natural resources, right? All of her water used to pool in the back here. This was super black, super mucky, and it actually had water in it, and it probably does during heavy rains.
Yeah.
But what we've done here, so if you looked at it from a bird's eye view, from a 2D perspective, and you looked at all the water that's landing and down there, everything that was in the yard was going to the back. Everything that was on the pool was going through the tunnel, going underground and going to the back. Everything that's on her roof was coming off of there onto the pool area through the tube and back here. So all of that natural resource is going back there. So I believe in design, how our landscape architect really, it shouldn't be just about moving water, which is a lot of what we do in Florida. We see development and we create retention ponds. What if we could utilize that water, right? So now when it comes down, the surface area of the house plus the pool now comes down into this little pipe right next to the pool you guys can see, and it actually pops back up right here, if you'll see this big rock patch. So when the water comes down, it goes into there, it fills up in this rocky area and into the swale, so it no longer is sitting in the back of the property. That process is happening with the rain as well. So when the rain comes right here, it falls into these swales. It's no longer sitting into the back. And that's what Andrea was talking about, is that water sits into these swales, soaks into the berms, and inside the berms are the root systems of all of these plants that are now utilizing that water. So we've taken a natural resource that didn't have a purpose because we were just moving it, and it was just sitting there actually creating a nuisance, and it now actually has a product. And that product is either vegetation, fruit trees, greens, herbs, flowers, etc. We can. I personally haven't done too much, but we definitely can. We have a couple people. The county, I don't know if it's county, one of the extension offices will do it for like $1.
Yeah.
Like you can get a they have a really cost-effective way of getting one. If you want a more extensive one, I do have a company, I don't remember off the top of my head.
But you want to know the truth? It reminds me of people that want to do gut stool testing. If you're not eating well, your stool's going to be what you're eating. If you're eating crap, your stools will be crap. There's no necessary for testing. So when we know that the soil is dry, it's sandier, it has a texture that doesn't look rich and dark, you just start putting in the right plants to create that eco balance and save yourself, even though it's $1. But then what are they going to tell you to do? They're going to tell you to put different chemicals on their percent. And you just really need the plants that have that nitrogen fixing or phosphorus or calcium in them. And that's why it's important to hire somebody, because you could spend a lot of money trying to figure it out yourself, or just do this, which wasn't terribly expensive for all the benefits we've been able to get, in addition to educating our community. So it's been very powerful.
So real quick, just to finish that, I think it's a good idea to build the system, and then in a couple of years, then go do a test and say, hey, how are we looking today? So that's kind of an approach that we've taken with people, but you can absolutely do it from the beginning and kind of see just where you're at, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that we like totally limit it. We were trying to capture the majority of it, right? So anything that lands on her pool has a system. It has like this little grate system underneath it, and all that comes through that little grate right there. So whatever water is up there is now going into this area, And then if you just look at when rain lands right here in this part of the yard, when it's heavy, where's it going to run? Right into the swell right here. So what we've done is we've just set up systems that capture a lot of it or a majority of it. I wouldn't say that we've captured all of it. Oh no, I literally mean that the rain lands on the grass and the overflow runs into the swell right
Because
here.
your rain is going to go in,
Yeah.
it's going to go
Yeah,
down. So
downhill.
it's just got
Yeah.
areas it's going to go to the area of least resistance, which is going to be this swell, and then the next swell, and the next swell, and then what the collected water that comes off the house is going to go in these tubes, and that water is directed so that it's not just filling up because it did come off the house before, but it stopped right there. So all this was wet. We just really couldn't walk in our yard and utilize our yard. So we took the fence off, we took the cover off our pool when we rebuilt the deck, and we just said, we're not going to have a deck. We're going to enjoy our yard. And yeah, we get some mosquitoes, but not all the time at certain times of the day and certain times of the year, but it's not bad. But you guys, it is 1 o'clock. So let's get you
Yeah.
going.